Welcome back to another episode of Jason's Bricks and 5, where I discuss LEGO content in videos of around 5 minutes. Well, today it's time for another Pantasy review. I'm excited they sent me these 4 sets. They are smaller than the other ones we have reviewed. Even if you combine them, I think they might be smaller. But I'm excited about these because these are the first sets that I've received that have had any kind of figure. I think we had like a molded cat or a bird, something like that in a couple of them. But these actually have figures because these are based off of the new Kung Fu Panda movie. And so we have 4 different food stands based on a different character. So we have Poe's dumpling stand, we have Zhen's ramen stall, we have Tiger's fruit store, and we have Shifu's tea stall. So I'm excited to get these put together and see what we think.
The build experience was very similar to those that I've had with the other Pantasy sets, with the exception of the added stickers for this set. But there was nothing too technical or difficult about the builds.
All right, so we got all of our builds completed, and I have to say they look really sharp. The ramen stand, the teapot, those things really jump out as a neat display. And I was really interested to, see how the build would come together and put those figures together. As this is the first Pantasy set that I've had that has actually had any sort of figures. But these were rather interesting. There is assembly required on the figure, so the arms and even the hands, you have to put those in there, which might be a little bit different from what you find with other building sets. But just by comparison, here's my sig fig, so you can see it's fairly similar in height. However, the dimensions of the character, the cartoon character is, quite a bit more round and bulbous. But I think, that would be expected with it being a cartoon character. But I like the way they look. I really like the ramen bowl, how that looks on top of this stand. And I also really like the teapot here. They were fun builds to do. The others look good as well. I will say that on the fruit stand, this was probably the one that I had the most difficulty building because the base is really kind of 4 pillars that you build, and you put them on here at an angle and they connect to a round plate. And you had to get that lined up just right, and it was a little bit tricky. So it took me probably actually about 3 or 4 tries before I kind of figured it out and got it in place. So that's just one thing to be aware of. I would say that these are probably not meant for a really young builder. If you have someone that's, maybe a 10, 12-year-old that, is experienced, maybe younger, if they have a lot of, advanced LEGO experience, they would be okay. But, this is probably something that, is going to be kind of the early teen, maybe tween age. It would be kind of the market that I think could comfortably build these. As far as, the display ability, I think they look really good. There's a little bit of access into, each of them, some of them a little bit more than others, like the ramen stand and the teapot. You can actually get in the back a little bit easier, but, the fruit stand, it's not quite as simple. And, there's a plate inside the dumpling stand. So, I see these ideally as more of a display set, but, that's kind of, I think, how these are meant. Now, a couple things I will point out. This is the first Pantasy sets that I've had that have had stickers. Most everything has been printed. These had sticker elements, so that's one thing to be aware of. Nothing was really, a problem with them. If you're used to putting stickers on, your builds. The only one that I did have an issue with was on the fruit stand. Because it's a spherical shape on this orange, the sticker's a flat shape. And so I could get it where it was flat, but then as I tried to round that flat sticker out, it would kind of bunch or kind of wrinkle. So that's the only one that I really had any sort of issue with. But for the most part, they're mostly stickers. There's a couple pieces. I think this leaf piece is printed, and then each one has a printed tile on the back that says that it's a DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda licensed set. So, and that's one of the things that I think is really nice. This gives you an option, if you're a Kung Fu Panda fan, or, someone in your family is, this gives you an option to access some characters and, some some small builds. Sometimes it's nice to have a small build because it doesn't take up a whole shelf, but you can, get kind of the 4 of these together and make a whole little scene, and it doesn't take up too much space. And it's nice to have, officially licensed products that you wouldn't have an option to get otherwise. So these sets are available from the Pantasy website directly. Most of the other sets that they've sold, I believe they have like an Amazon store that they've been available on. These ones you have to go directly to the Pantasy website, and they are listed there. Each of them are $34.99. Now I will tell you that the Pose dumpling stand is actually already sold out. I don't know if it's going to come back in stock, but the others are available, at least as of the time of recording. Again, they're $34.99, and there is a discount code that you can use, which is Jason Panda, and you can go ahead, if you're interested, and get a discount on these. I'll put a link for the sets as well as other information about them in the description of the video if you want to check those out. But the bricks and everything are pretty much the experience that I've had with the other Pantasy sets. So they're good quality bricks. They hold together well. Some of the build techniques were unique. For example, this I guess shrimp piece up here in the ramen bowl. These are a piece I've not seen before. It's like a 1x1 cheese wedge, but it has a stud on the top, so they're clipped together to kind of make that round shape, which I thought was kind of an interesting touch. So yeah, that's going to do it for my review of the Kung Fu Panda food stalls. I want to thank Pantasy for sending me these complimentary copies of the sets. Again, no compensation was paid for my review besides the complimentary sets, and all opinions are my own. So if you want to, again, if you're interested and you want to take a look, go out and check out the Pantasy website in the description below. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks for watching Jason's Bricks in 5, and we'll see you next time. Happy building!